Welcome to Live Your Legacy, where every story holds a turning point, and every turning point holds the power of legacy.
Hello, 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 and welcome to Live Your Legacy. My name is Patricia D. Freudenberg, also known as Patty from New York. And I want to welcome you today to the show because it is a special show. It's a trailer. And I want to say that this show, Live Your Legacy, is where we explore how life's defining moments shape the legacy we leave behind. And I'm your host, also known as Patty from New York. And this show is rooted simply in one truth. Sometimes that grief is not always in death. It comes with changes, detours and new beginnings. And legacy is not something that you leave behind. It's something you live every single day. And, I welcome you today because while we all move on from this life, a legacy lives on too. And that's what's exciting. Legacy is ever after, right? While you're living it and beyond. So welcome to Live Your Legacy. Okay. This is where the life of that you're living is the story you're writing. And the question is, are you writing it by default or by design? This isn't just another show. This is a space for the pivot, the breakthrough. Okay. This is a show about transformation. The moment life didn't go as planned. And sometimes, somehow, it became exactly what it needed to be. And before anything else, let me tell you why this matters to me. Okay. So I'm a grief consultant. My work is centered around legacy, empowering individuals to transform grief into a living legacy without feeling stuck in sorrow. And what I've come to understand is that grief doesn't always come from death. Like I mentioned before, I noticed that the skills that we can apply to help us get to recovery can apply to life itself, because life can be challenging. Let's be real. Life has its ups and downs, and there's always going to be an adversity somewhere along the line. Sometimes it could be simply, just not having it your way that day. But the skills we apply for coping and overcoming, it doesn't mean it's never going to happen again. It means that we're able to get back up. It shows up in transitions, and it shows up in endings, right? When something ends, then we start something new. But that time in between, what was the mindset? What did we do? What did we apply? What did we learn that we could use to make the transition better, right? Or just new. It doesn't always have to be better. Something different doesn't always have to be better. It's just different. I always, as a mother, I guess, I say, one kid is not better than the other per se. You love them both just the same, I would hope anyway. They're different, right? So same idea in life. You do things, and sometimes things happen, and then you end up doing something else, but it's all about purpose. I hope I made some sense. I'm excited about the show. It is a new series. We launched on March 9th, and that's what the show is a little bit about. It's a little insight on what the show is about. And in life, we thought we were going to have, right? Doesn't always work out the way we plan. Not all the time. Sometimes yes, but sometimes no. And even when we plan and it works out, somewhere along the line, we can't see what's happening, down the way. Nobody has a crystal ball. I mean, you could plan and be strategic, and God willing, most of the things you want work out the way you planned. However, life does happen. And this is what the show is about. When those moments happen that changed your life, to what you're doing. And it could even be your mindset. It doesn't have to be, oh, I have a business now, or I have a non-for-profit now, or, I'm a philanthropist now. It doesn't have to be so grandiose all the time. Sometimes it could be, I know how to smile at people now. I know how to give good hugs now, because I learned this from that. Making any sense? A lot of the influencers in my life rubbing off on me, so I might say things that they say, and Make Sense is one of them. A shout out to Make Sense book. It was a great book. I didn't complete it, actually. But I did start getting into it. And the author, Dr. J.C. Dornick, is also the teacher for the Dragonfly Academy, along with Julie Loken. I want to give a shout out because of their teaching how to do podcasting. They also have great podcasts. You can learn a little bit more about that if you go to Live Your Legacy, or you look it up, livelegacy.vip, livelegacy.vip. Let me just show the banner here so you could see the thing. Live Your Legacy is the show name, right? And livelegacy.vip, because the show is live, and VIP is for vision, impact, and purpose. And let me get back to the purpose of the show. People, when people are faced with a choice, right, in those moments, like what do you do? Stay in the weight of it or shift into something meaningful? Because when we choose to move forward with intention, we don't leave our story behind. We learn from it, and then in hindsight, it's behind us, but it made us a better person. Or you could stay in the story that wasn't working for you, that adversity. You could stay there. A lot of people do, and that becomes their story. And listen, whatever works for you. This show is, about empowerment and about sharing those stories of empowerment. So, if you like to get stuck in a low vibration, and you want to have a pity party for yourself, if that's what makes you happy, then you be you, boo. But here we do like to share stories of empowerment, with a little more movement in life, a little more growth in life, a little bit more learning in life, a little more teaching in life, and locking arms, rolling up your sleeves, helping each other. We like to, the story we share here is to help you transform, because every turning point is powerful. It's taking matters into your own hands. Okay. That's why, in the jingle, you'll hear that, we love to carry that forward, that power, and we'll, allow it to live on. Sitting with people in those spaces, I started to notice that something powerful. Everyone has a story. Spaces of communities that we share stories like we do on the show, and there's power, and it's so much fun to hear the stories of transformation. Everyone has a story. Everyone has a story, and when that story is shared, it doesn't just heal people telling it. It becomes a catalyst, a turning point for somebody else. And that's the point of this show. Who needed to hear it? That's where the show was born. Okay. That's where the show was born. From the understanding that stories aren't just personal, they're bridges. Okay. Don't keep the story to yourself. Don't keep the story to yourself. I mean, if you're still in it, you got to get through it. You got to find that turning point, and then come share the story. Okay. When you're in it, it's good to get the help, but it's not the right time to be telling your story when you're in it just to everybody, to the world, like you would on the show. You tell it to people that are there to, really, really, get you through and then you come here and you share how you got through it. And that's what it's all about. I wanted to create a space where those bridges could be built. And this is where it is, where people could share the moments that change them. This is where it is. And in doing so, help change somebody else, because not all grief is loss. And sometimes the loss of what we thought life would look like, well, it's a closed door, I guess. I say when one door opens, another one opens, but some people call it closed doors. Sometimes it's a missed opportunity, a season that forced us to begin again. And in that space, something powerful happens. We decide to either to stay there, and that becomes your narrative, or we build something meaningful from it. That's what Live Your Legacy is all about. Every guest you'll meet here has faced a moment that changed everything. And instead of stopping, they turned it into a vision, into impact, into purpose. And when we stop sleeping on our lives, when we take action, we don't just heal, we create something that outlives the moment. And that becomes legacy. We create something that lives on and on. We live our legacy now, but that continues. And that's exactly what you're about to experience. Take a breath, take a moment. I said a lot. If you resonate with this, if you have a story of transformation, come share it. We want to hear it. We want to hear it. We're going to dive deep and we want to hear it. What you're about to see here is a collection of moments, real stories, real voices, a snippet, real turning points, each one different, each one meaningful, each one a diamond uniquely made, because no two journeys are the same, but every story holds a powerful shift, that something, and a powerful shift that something, it will, it's a, I just always relate it to like a car, a shift, you shift gears. And these clips, this is a glimpse into the heart of the show. And I really am excited to share it with you. A space where life is explored and, all its forms, through truth, through meaning. Again, we talk about vision, impact, and purpose a lot here. And those words have been used a lot lately, or maybe I'm just noticing them a lot lately, but they're really meaningful. They really are. I often say even a button serves a purpose, right? Even a button serves a purpose. So your story is never too small, okay, or too big. We want to hear about the turning points. We want to hear what was the aha moments that got you to shift gears and gave you power back to create a living legacy. And, we're all going to leave this earth one day in the physical, but spirit goes on and on and on. And so can your legacy. I believe everybody wants to be remembered. So take a moment and lean into what is possible. Check this out. And let's hear it. Just a few minutes, a few mini clips of guests that we had previously on. Again, this is Live Your Legacy. Here we go.
The main message is in phrases. Be of service, look for the helpers, create community, be authentic, lead with love, be non-judgmental, add forgiveness in, and heal.
When you hear the word Live Your Legacy, or just legacy, what does that mean to you personally? And I know, again, big questions, but what's on your heart and mind?
To live your legacy, it makes me think about when I found your room on Clubhouse, and we've been rock and rolling with each other ever since then. But I had to be accountable about what legacy I was going to leave. Was I going to leave the legacy of giving up, or was I going to leave the legacy that change is possible when I'm the proof? So that's what it means to me. My children are seeing transformation right before their eyes every moment. And that's the legacy that I will leave with them in the earth.
Next question is, what does legacy mean to you?
Yeah. So my mom would say, I wish I had all the money in the world to give it away. They were very generous. There was never a time if I said to my dad, I need a piece of artwork for, and whatever that for was, always gave me artwork, always. When I first moved down here, made sure I had artwork to donate to the gallery. As a matter of fact, the first 250 people that came in the doors of the gallery when we opened in October of 2018 got beautiful angels. Beautiful figurines that were angels. My parents were incredibly generous. They wanted to make sure that the community knew that we weren't just another boutique store or gallery, that we were giving to the community. So I donated artwork for the Hotel and Motel Lodging Association. And, just they taught me how to give and how to care and how to serve on committees and boards.
But let me tell you the story about how Me Money started, long before it was even called Me Money. It started because I put my husband on a budget, and I said, I'm going to give you this amount of money and you're going to spend it, and you have to live within this means of this money. And the reason I did that was because I handle the finances, and I know I detail everything, so I know exactly what he's spending, and he has no idea what he's spending. And it becomes clear to me through conversations that he has no idea that he's spending this amount of money. So I put him on this budget knowing that he's going to be okay. I'm not being super restrictive or whatever. He's going to be okay. He can make it within this amount of money. But my point was to help him to realize how much money he was spending, and to realize that all these little things add.
My work came out of adversity. When I was 17, I broke my neck playing football, just at a park with my friends, and became a quadriplegic. So you talk about, adversity and life possibly ending. And I was blessed where I had great family support, strong faith, and that really helped me turn it into a new beginning. Now, that doesn't happen overnight, but what does happen is the journey. Because when something happens, when you're stuck, when you hit adversity, there's kind of one question I ask: now what? Because now what brings you to a fork in the road, and anything happens to you. My dad died. Now what? I broke my neck. Now what? You couldn't get pregnant. Your wife couldn't get pregnant. Now what? You came down with an illness. Now what? And that really brings you to a fork in the road. And I just chose the path that moves you forward.
Well, you heard it. There you go. You heard that. And what you just experienced, I hope you leaned in. That's the essence of Live Your Legacy. A collection of lives in motion, each one living, shaping, and proving that legacy isn't just one story. It's many, and yours is one of them, okay? And if you're someone who knows there's more in you, more to say, more to build, more to become, you're in the right place. You can watch, follow, and stay connected. Oops. You could stay connected, and with every story is special. Check out. Let me put the. There we go. Live Legacy VIP to join us at Live Your Legacy. You could follow us on all the socials there, get notifications. We're on all the platforms. We're also on podcasting channels like Spotify, Live Your Legacy on Spotify. We're on Amazon podcasting, Apple Podcast, and iHeartRadio podcast as well. And again, it's about vision, impact, and purpose. This is Live Your Legacy. And I am just really happy that you showed up, that you came, that you view, that you support. And again, if you have a story you want to share with us, come talk about it. Let's hear what you have to share with the world. It's really, really special. And if you've ever felt the pull to share, we could hear your voice here to step into the podcasting. I will lead you to the right place. There's a pathway waiting for you right there. I'll tell you, inside the menu, you'll find access. What am I talking about? To the Dragonfly Podcast Academy. So again, go to the website, and again, let's put it up here. livelegacy.vip for all the people listening on radio. That's livelegacy.vip for vision, impact, and purpose. And you will go to the menu page, and if you want to start a podcast, then you will hit that menu and check it out. And it's my affiliate link to join the academy, and I'll see you there, because it's really a wonderful, wonderful place, and I highly, highly recommend it. It's a resource I personally recommend for those ready to turn their message into a platform. If you are a teacher, because a teacher of whatever you're doing, a voice of whatever you're doing, or you know a lot of you have a lot of guests that want to talk about things in your niche, whatever your podcast may be, because your voice matters, your story matters, and the life you're living right now is already telling a story that lives on. So this is your invitation to stop waiting, to start building, to live with intention, and to live your legacy. Okay, you know how to say that. I hope you enjoyed this trailer. Very excited about it. Let's see who's coming up next. Stay tuned. Check out the website. Subscribe, follow, give her a review. It'd be really nice if you liked it. And with that being said, we will see you next time. Again, this is Patty from New York. This is Live Your Legacy. And have an awesome day. God bless.
And every turning point holds the power of legacy. Every step, every scar, every choice we make leaves a mark. The time